This is what you get in Finland. Free education all the way from kindergarten through university, including meals, school materials, books, pencils, paper, etc. University students are even paid for studying. So if you are a university student, you get about $650 per month to do your studies. Unemployment benefits. Okay, if you were to get kicked out of a job, about 50 to 80% of your income would be covered for the next 2 years, depending on the trade union that you belong to. Pension, about 60% of your income after you retire, about the age of 60 or 65, depending on the field that you're in. What else? Free pediatric care. $50 only per year covers all health care for adults. Medications are highly subsidized, anywhere between 42, 72, or 100%, depending on the category that it falls under. Maternity leave is up to 9 months, and it's about 75% of your current income whenever you embark on one. And there's also a paternity leave for about 3 weeks for all the dads to be taken advantage of. Monthly stipend for each child, meaning that for the first child you get about $150 per month just for having that child, taking care of that child from the government. Up to the 5th baby is about $250. Okay, these are some of the elements that our safety net, our system has. The concept of the Nordic countries includes countries Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, and Iceland. The total population is about 25 million, Sweden being by far the biggest, of 10 million people, and Finland, Norway, Denmark, roughly about 5 million people. There are certain traits, value system that definitely combines us. Also a very high income level. All these countries share that. And this is especially on average. There aren't so many people who make a whole lot of money, nor very poor people, but there's a huge middle class. This is very characteristic of the Nordic countries. Equality principle is important. Low hierarchy, no one person is more important than the other. Okay? What comes to gender, what comes to getting paid, is a very important concept for the Nordic people. And overall, just the model of if you are left behind or something were to happen to you, that's something that very well combines us. Some of the challenges that we're currently facing. Globalization has been very positive to us, but at the same time, as we've noticed today, there are jobs being lost to Asia, Latin America, places where labor costs are way lower. We are facing the EU crisis, especially in Finland. Finland is actually the only country in the Eurozone. There's Sweden and Denmark who are part of the European Union, but are all out of the Eurozone. So currently there's a lot of talk about the fact that countries like Greece, Spain, Italy are in big troubles, and smaller countries like Finland and the Netherlands are paying a lot of money for that to keep the balance within the European Union. Of course, Germany included, but that's one of the bigger countries. Demographic transition, the pyramid, age pyramid is challenging. We're getting less and less babies, whereas there's a lot of older people. They're living older, and they're getting hefty pensions. Overall, you can say that the past 50 years, 60 years, when we've been building this model of the Nordic welfare system, they've been very prosperous in terms of economics and also socially. But now we're facing a challenge. Something has to be done. Let's take my country, which is Finland, in perspective. These are some of the nominations from the past year or so that naturally we're very proud of, also a bit surprised. We were nominated the best country in the world by Newsweek, the most successful nation by the Fund for Peace report. second happiest nation in the world, right after Denmark actually, right? And third most competitive economy in the whole world, right after Switzerland and Singapore. Okay, great nominations, very happy about it. Of course, everything comes at a cost. Very high tax burden. One of the highest taxes in the whole world, right? It's about equal income and dispersing the wealth towards all. In Finland, you can get, your income tax may reach 50%. Plus, in addition to that, social costs, meaning unemployment cost and pension cost each month you're paying. So you can reach 56% of taxes. Naturally, there are significant deductions for underprivileged and homeowners, as an example. Some of the figures for you to compare in your own countries. Capital gains tax at 30% in Finland. Corporate tax at 26%. And sales tax, when you compare, for example, with the United States, where the highest is in Tennessee, it's about 9.45%. In Finland, it's 23%. There are naturally other means besides the taxes. You don't want to get pulled over in Finland, right, for speeding. There are people who've been getting fines for over $1 million, well, from speeding, right? Because it goes according to your income. And that's a fact. Okay, so I said the past 50, 60 years, they've been prosperous. There's been certain incidents in the past 20 years that have triggered even, let's say, for better results, our economy. Finns are survivors. We've been facing hard times, okay? But at the same time, the bouncing back element is also there. We know how to bounce back. In the early 90s, there was the turmoil in the Soviet Union, which naturally affected us, being the neighboring country. We had a lot of trade with the Soviet Union. So all of a sudden, things were happening in the Soviet Union. We had to find new partners to trade with.